do if they can't do it.
All right, let's call the Plan Commission meeting of October 5th to order. Roll call, please.
President Jay Langfeld,
Here.
Trustee Kettlebolder,
Here.
Commissioner Duquette,
Here.
Commissioner Case,
Here.
Commissioner Zander,
Here.
Trustee Kevin Thusius,
Here.
and Commissioner Eric Pedrick.
Here. All right, let's stand for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone to address the Plan Commission on any issue. Please observe the time limit of 3 minutes. While the Plan Commission encourages input from residents, it may not discuss or act on any issue that is not duly noticed on the agenda. We have anybody on cyberspace that?
We do. We have 2 participants. We did not have any registrations for comment, and I believe the 2 that are online here are here for the first item.
Probably the second item.
Or, excuse me.
All right, let's go to general business then. Item 1 is approval of the minutes from the Plan Commission meeting held on August 31st, 2020.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? I'll second. All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the Plan Commission meeting on August 31st, 2020. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the extraterritorial plat review for lands owned by Dale and Maureen Lochner and Bruce and Nancy Honan, Garfoot Road. Do I have a motion? And then we'll go to discussion.
So
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Bill, would you like to?
Sure. So this certified survey map was submitted to the village. This is in the town of Cross Plains. So this property is actually within the village's extraterritorial jurisdiction area. And we do have an ordinance that does cover that. And so it has been submitted to us for review. Just a quick note that this request came in on August 31st. And so as you remember, we did not have a September meeting, and that's why it's on currently. The property owners are asking if it is recommended for approval by the Plan Commission. The owners are asking for a special meeting of the village board as they have a closing that is coming up rather quickly here, and this approval is a contingent of that. We did review this. As you can see on the board, there is a draft extraterritorial or official map. We did review it for potential conflicts and did not see anything immediately. And so it's being presented to you for review and approval.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, Eric.
Yeah, I am sorry to say, but I can't see that very good, and I'm just trying to figure out exactly where this is.
Yeah, let me point that out here.
Yes.
Okay, by their house.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So they're just splitting off a lot,
Oh, okay.
right?
All right.
Right. That's how I understood it.
Between the 2 properties, this would be Dale and Mincy's property here.
Yep.
And then this is that other property with the horse. I think they have the horses there.
Yep.
I think there's separating this piece of land in between the 2.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
Can you confirm what he said, Bill?
Yeah, so I believe this is the old lot 1 down here.
Okay.
This is the old lot 2 here.
Okay.
So they are rearranging the lot lines, I believe. The Lochners are purchasing this section and redrawing the lot line here.
I see. Do they want to, what does Dale or?
Dale or Bruce, I do see you on online here. Do any of you would like to speak on this subject? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, Bill, I am here. This is Dale Lochner.
Have you been listening? Are we correct on our assumptions on exactly what's happening?
That is correct. Yes, if you see that, the smaller parcel, that was a 16-acre parcel. There is 5 acres remaining with that house and being sold. And we're gonna take 11 acres off that parcel and put it onto our adjoining land, which is just south of that parcel. So it'd make, right, correct, there you go. So actually, we're just changing lot lines is all we're doing. There's no other boundary changes.
Okay. Thank you, Dale.
You bet. Thank you.
Anybody have any other questions? All right, let's take a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Thusis,
Yes.
Commissioner Zander,
Yes.
Commissioner Pedrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Case,
Yes.
Commissioner Duquette,
Yes.
Trustee Kettlebolder,
Yes.
President Langfeld.
Yes. All right, very good. Thank you. All right, we are number 3, discussion and possible action regarding the official map.
So I can just jump in here.
Yep.
So you'll see on the board, and again, it's hard to see, so I apologize about that. But this is a zoomed in version of the official map proposed in 2009. And this map here is an expanded version of it going out 1.5 miles. Currently, again, the village does have extraterritorial jurisdiction ordinance section within its subdivision ordinance for review of lands within 1.5 miles of the municipal boundary. That being said, there was an amendment to that ordinance to utilize the official map, an official map if adopted and when adopted, to assist in reviewing extraterritorial subdivisions. And so we've discussed this before about picking up this process again and adopting an official map. There was some discussion on or suggestion that an official map had been already adopted and we reviewed and spoke with Van der Wal and it's my understanding that it didn't go through the complete process at the time. And so, as you can see, there are a number of items that do show on the map that are in interest to the village. Those include mostly rights of ways outside, and this would be complementary to Dane County. Within the village, there are things like well placements, reservoir, I think is in here, future parks, etc. Again, this document has not been updated since 2009. And then at the bottom of the page, I just made a note of some policies, some mapping projects and plans that have kind of come since this draft was concepted. It includes the 2018 update to the comprehensive plan utilizing future land use planning. There was a parks and open space plan in 2019, flood mitigation plan in 2020. The village intends on taking on or commissioning a water system assessment in 2021, or currently ongoing. And then there's been a series of urban service amendments since 2009, and so that should be updated. I know that there are multiple regional trail efforts in and around Cross Plains and within that 1.5 miles, and so those should also be considered. I believe the Capital Area Regional Planning Commission is engaging in an effort to update the environmental corridor assessment. And so we'll be a part of that. We are also a part of the CARPC's green infrastructure planning. And so that should also be suggested. The transportation planning organization for the Madison metro area is also updating the transportation plan. And then of course, we want to make sure that we're compliant with Dane County and any future planning for village facilities. So I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you. And to be fair, you know, we haven't received or collected at least the public documents for a number of these items down here at the bottom yet. But I wanted to get this out before you and get you thinking about that. I know that oftentimes when we start drawing routes on a map or start labeling maps, people, you know, especially the property owners, become very interested in it. And so I want to make sure that this process is transparent, and eventually it will have to go through a public hearing before it gets adopted. And so again, start thinking about this, start thinking about you know, previous village plans and how we may be able to utilize this map to help us.
So no action tonight.
No action is
Okay, I guess I would ask for a couple things. This is going to be way too big to take as a whole. So what I think we should do is come up with kind of what are logical breakdowns. You know, like you say, we have the parks plan that we're planning to update. We have a sewer, not sewer, but water study that's going on that we can. If we can get CARPC and Dane County, if we can start collecting this, I think it would be good to have this on future agendas in smaller parts. So when we get here, we can talk about, you know, the open space, the parks one, and then we can talk about water the next, using the mechanism. And I am hoping that the mapping software and hardware that we're purchasing in 2021 can be used for this. So that's, I guess, what I think we should do. I think it's great to get it out here, but I think it's going to be way too big to take as a whole, especially when you're talking about 7, 8 different mapping overlays that you want. So if we can break it out, you know, and do have it at a meeting that's you know, an area that we can cover in one meeting would be good. Any other comments?
I think it's a good way to take it, because there's a lot in there, and as you start digging down deeper, they'll start, more and more will start popping up. So I'm a fan of taking it in layers. Is there, will we be working with our engineer or consultant at all in this process, or is this all internal?
Yeah, so we will be. So there's, you know, when we talk about different layers, I imagine we will be pulling in different groups of people. So for example, when we talk about water systems, you know, I'm sure we'll be pulling in engineers and Jerry and his staff. When we talk about parks, again, Park and Rec Department, village planner, any of the various regional organizations that have an interest in the village of Cross Plains.
So then that my follow-up then is that, well, once we have the official map, what's its function?
So once we have the official map, it'd be published, and then we would look to it whenever we get these extraterritorial revision requests. It is a tool. It's a tool that the village can use in deciding what happens outside of village boundaries.
So we did, yeah, okay. 'Cause I thought we did this process before, but you're saying we just didn't complete it.
Yeah, my understanding was that it was done, and actually this map was drafted in 2009. And for some reason, and I believe it had to do with a bypass, it didn't gain any further traction.
Do you remember something since then, Jerry?
No, I do not. I do remember us talking about this, and then the bypass, because there was big talk, instead of bringing all the trucks through Main Street, you know, we were either going to go around to the south, and there was another plan of going from Mazel straight to 19, you know, right across that field basically to 19, and then taking 19 so the truck traffic wouldn't have to go through. But, you know, again, I was obviously off the board then, so I didn't, you know, I don't know the process. I think it's healthy that we have this, and I actually thought state law required that we had a plan. So I think this is good. I think what Bill is saying is it probably never went to the board for a vote or a public hearing. I'm guessing that's the i's we didn't dot and the t's we didn't cross. Because I remember a lot of work put on that.
Yeah, I did too. I remember being involved in parks. And then, so we have another map out there that actually shows, say, ball diamonds in one place and, you know, park space in another. That's different than this.
So there's an official open space and parks plan, the future land use. Is that the map that you're talking
It also
about?
talks Subdivisions and where we want development. It used to, what's the other map that we have? That used to have like a light industrial up to the north.
Didn't even have a business park? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, Ziegler's.
Yeah, but
Or West of St.
Okay.
Mary's, I wanna say, yeah.
What's that map?
So that's, I believe that's the future land use map in the comprehensive plan that was.
Okay.
that's,
that was
yes,
updated
that's in the
2018.
comprehensive plan.
Correct.
Okay, so this will mirror that, hopefully.
Yeah, so that's one of the areas that we will look for some influence on this is, you know, what does the comprehensive plan say? And then what are the areas that we can specify as far as infrastructure? So basically the extraterritorial map provides a warning to or a heads up to the property owner. And at the time, the way it generally works is that at the time that they are looking to subdivide, then the law says that they have to offer the village an opportunity to purchase it at the appraised rate. So,
That's the extraterritorial part,
correct.
but that's just one tiny component of this.
No, I think that's the main, I thought for state statute, that's the main thing for this. Now, what you're, in my opinion, this is kind of a collection of what we're doing, because we have the Parks and Conservancy Master Plan. So we talked about updating that. When that gets updated, we should take that, and that would be a layer across this. So if we're talking about that bike path going all the way to Black Earth, that should be on the map, because that's something that we can use saying, hey, this is what we want this to go. And then we have some standing and talking and getting the land if we need it.
And this,
Well,
yeah,
apologies for belaboring this, but
No.
the land use plan already has that information.
the land use plan does not have. So the land use plan specifies land use districts and land in areas. Only, well, they have it does have expanded. I mean, you know, certain properties it doesn't have it within the 1.5.
Well, that just makes me feel like it's not as big of a lift to get to this end result, because really what we're looking is the expansion. We're not trying to get every well site, every water system, every, you know, hydrant mapped on here. We're
No.
just trying to say, do we need a well site? If so, where?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
thank you.
Yeah, however, it could be used in that way too. For example, if you have a site that is, well, I'll use County Highway P, for example. If the Plan Commission and the Village Board adopts a section of County P to cut through certain properties in the village, you can use the official map to provide warning out there. So then every time a building permit request comes in for that particular property, you would have grounds to reject that
I see.
building permit so that you can clear the right of way to be purchased.
But what I think what Kevin's saying is we don't have to get to the detail where the road would look like this. This would be a fire hydrant here. Then there'd be another fire. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, we
Correct.
don't know. That's out of our hands right now. What the idea is, hey, this could be residential at some point. And
Correct.
within residential, there's roads and fire hydrants.
Yeah, so this map is used for identifying where the footprint of your infrastructure may be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess what the next step would be is we'll have to take a little bit more time to try to figure out the timing of what is the right time to bring it here and start putting this map together. And I guess I'd like the comprehensive one. I think I still have that one. I'd have to take, but I don't know how old that one is.
The comprehensive plan,
Yeah.
it was most recently updated in 2018.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Yeah, I think I have one, but I don't know if I have that one. Does that make sense? Everybody comfortable with that?
Yes.
Yeah. My only question is, what is the role of the village's planner, Vanderwall? What, will they, Mike Slavny and others, will they be involved in this process? And I'm just thinking that
Yeah,
they have a lot of expertise they can bring to the table that would save you and others in the village quite a bit of time, maybe.
Yeah, so they will be, because they have the history with the village and some of these plans and developing it. I think the idea here is to utilize staff time and staff programming as much as possible to help save on that cost.
And the bottom line is they're only going to take the information we give them and put it in. I agree with you. The end product's got to go through them and stuff, but they're going to ask us, or they're going to ask for the study, where do you want the next well? They're not going to come up with that because that's a whole different.
No, I understand that, but for example, they may have been doing this kind of work for, the townships that are surround us or the other villages, and they may say, well, Black Earth is gonna do this, and it might impact you. And we know that, and so that's something they can bring to the table.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, they will definitely keep them in the loop. All right, anything else on this? All right, number 4, discussion regarding use of conditional use permits and planned development district zoning code. I put this on the agenda. I'm not expecting this to be much of a discussion tonight. It's one of these things that's like the last issue. I'd like to take it in sections and it'll be a standing item on that, but I would like us to at least look into this. And again, this is more on my observation. So I guess what I'm looking for in this is and this is a personal view, so this is why we, we'll keep it up and have discussion. I think the planned developments that we have, I clearly understand the concept of them. And for like creek crossing, where we're gonna have a section where the lots are smaller and we may have less setbacks onto that, I clearly understand that and support of that. Where I get a little bit confused is in our downtown area when just about every business has their own planned development. You look, we've already just recently we had Hootie's, Montag, Midtown. And I'm trying to figure out why we have all these planned developments for these individual businesses. I know Coaches has it. And to me, you have Montags and Coaches are pretty much the same businesses, but yet they have different plans. So one can do something here and the other one can't do it here. And I'm just not sure that's the best way of the best public policy for that. I'd rather have it more of a zoning. So this is the zoning, this is what you can do in that zoning code, because there's a fairness to this, I think, component to it. And I also think there's a huge enforcement problem with it when, our administrator is responsible for enforcement of all these, but everybody has a different set of rules. So how does one even, remember all those or even get out there and figure out without pulling that? And we all saw some of them have up to 20 some items on it. So I'd like us to look at, is this the best practice of doing this, or is there a better? And that's the same thing with conditional use. I look at the daycare. I still don't understand why that's under conditional use, and I don't understand why the insurance company that's buying it is under conditional use. Again, it should be zoning. I think we talk about helping businesses and stuff. I think, and I'm talking again, this is just me, that government is way too involved, I think, in Cross Plains and business planning of the businesses. I mean, I think we have an obligation to make sure businesses fall into what we want. So I can understand in Main Street, we don't want chain link fences, and if we want privacy fences, that's great, and I don't even have a problem saying they have to be earth tone, but really they got to come permission if it's going to be a light gray versus a tan versus a light brown. I just don't understand why we're sticking in. So this is why I've asked it to be put on there. I'd like us to kind of take a look at this and see if this is the best practices for doing and getting to where we want to get to. Because I'll be honest with you, I have had some conversations with some businesses, and I know there's people here that probably have had the same. We almost lost a business because of this red tape, and I honestly could not come up with good reasons on why we do what we do when our competition in Wanakee and Mount Horeb don't have that. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this tonight, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of the background, and I'll try to form the discussions as we move forward. But I would like us to at least have a discussion on this. And if it turns out there are good reasons on doing it this way and we want to keep it, that's fine. But I really would like to do a review of this, and I would like to try to simplify our process. Just like some of the stuff in these plan developments and stuff, I think should be licenses. I don't think in a plan development we should be talking about bands and outdoor stuff. That should be a license under entertainment. Then you can talk about it in the licensing part, but it's not necessarily part of their conditional, their plan development. Because you look at the winery, that was the other one, the wine bar. Well, how many times did they come? Like 2 or 3 times? On really what I thought were some of them were pretty simple things that if the zoning was there, they could have just done it or not done it, and that would have been it. You still open the door for variances and stuff like that. I have no problem with making exceptions, but I just think all these plan developments for each business is very difficult to enforce, and I think you run into a real fairness problem considering how the plan commission changes, the board commission changes, and you can have a tendency of not everybody being treated the same. So go ahead, Judy.
No, I totally agree. I was just gonna say, I know that we almost lost another business, but there's a reputation out there as a board that we don't want businesses right now, and that's not what we're about. But it's because we're making it, they feel like we're making it so difficult to get things done. So we do need to simplify some things. And I agree, being fair is fair. If you're a bar, you're a bar. You should have the same rules. It should be fair.
Yeah, if you're a bar on Main Street, you can have live music till 12 o'clock or whatever it is.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, whatever that rule is. So if you're considering doing something in this town, you know what you're up against.
Yeah.
All right, anybody else? Otherwise, what I'll do is just like what we did with number 3 with the official map. I'll try to narrow this down so it's workable and we're not all night long trying to do it, but at least take some look at what's out there.
I did say, well, ask that Mike Slavny be here for this discussion. He just texted me saying that he is running late, so we'll save that.
Well, it won't depend. Anyway. We'll clearly bring him in because he's very much for the plan development. So that would be a very healthy discussion on that, and clearly he would be part of it. But tonight I wasn't looking at really any discussion at all. I was just throwing what this is and how I think we should take care of it and at least deal with it in the future. All right.
Need a motion, Drew?
Well, I guess we're pretty much there then.
I'll move it. I'll make it.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. Thank you for coming. Go Packers.
Yeah.
Plenty of time. Half hour before